Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brittnee. Guess what? Today's video is a holiday bonbon design. I'm pretty proud of myself because it isn't even December yet, which means you guys can use some of this year's holiday design ideas for your own chocolates if you make some. I used this design in my holiday box last year and I got a lot of compliments on it, so I'm excited to share it with you guys. It looks so festive because of the holiday colors and is really pretty, but it's really seriously so easy to do. Today's video will focus just on the design technique. I'm hoping to create at least a couple holiday filling flavors to share with you guys, but it is tough for me to formulate new recipes for you to the point of them being ready to share, because if you didn't know, I also work a full-time job and running this channel is just something I do on the side. It's a lot of work and really time-consuming to test and tweak brand new recipes. So just if you've ever wondered why I share more designs than I do recipes, that's why. Anyway, let's get into this pretty red, green, and white holiday design. Here are the supplies that you'll need. Some cocoa butters. I'm using Chef Rubber pre-colored alabaster white, jade green, and retro red. A polycarbonate chocolate mold. I like this design on a half sphere shape. Today I'm using Greyus 3262. Some food safe gloves. A small round paintbrush. A large soft round paintbrush or an airbrush to back in the design with white. And of course, all your other chocolate molding supplies like scrapers, a heat gun, paper towels, cotton balls to polish your mold, and your favorite chocolate for shelling. So for this design, you'll temper all three colors at the same time because we'll use them all at the same time. And just a little tip, they'll be easier to temper at the same pace if they have about the same amount in the container. All of mine are running low, so I'm going to refill each of them before I temper. Also, the more volume of cocoa butter that you have tempered, the longer it will stay warm as you work. I'm going to bring each of my cocoa butters up to temp off camera, and then while they're cooling down, I will prepare my mold. My mold is already clean, so I'm just going to polish it really quick using cotton balls and food grade ethanol. I have linked a safe one in the description along with all of my other supplies if you need to find those. Don't forget to stir your cocoa butters occasionally as they're cooling down to 27 degrees Celsius. Here I'm just warming my cocoa butters up to between 28 and 30 degrees Celsius. To prepare for the decoration, I put a glove on my right hand. Then to begin the design, I start with the white cocoa butter and the small round paintbrush. I'm going to paint two long triangles across from each other, starting in the center of the mold, then going up and out of the mold. This is going to create a barrier of white between the green and the red cocoa butters so that they aren't side by side, or else the colors can turn muddy. Now, I take one gloved finger and dip it into the green cocoa butter. I spread it on one side of the mold. I kind of just dab my finger around to fill in all of the space. I do the same with the red cocoa butter using a different finger. Once those are in, then I go back to the green and swirl each side where it meets the white. I like to do different patterns each time to make it look random. Sometimes I swirl in spirals, sometimes I do waves. Usually I do a combination of both of those. Don't forget to clean the surface of the mold by wiping it onto a clean paper towel. You can check the opposite side of the mold in between cavities to make sure you like the look of your swirls. If not, you can swirl them some more before moving on to the next cavity. If you work really quickly, you can get away with doing 2 cavities at a time. Any more than that and your white cocoa butter will start to set up before you can get your green and red in, and then it doesn't really swirl very well. You get the prettiest swirls when all the cocoa butters are pretty fluid because they mix nicely together. Along that same line, Be sure to keep all of the cocoa butters warm as you work using your heat gun, or else things will start to set up too quickly. And really, it's that simple. There's no trick to this design. They usually turn out really pretty. It's mostly about practice and preference on what type of swirling you like, along with how much blending and how much of each color you use to make the design you like best. The final step is to take your white cocoa butter while you have it still in temper and back the design. This is just to make sure the red and green colors pop, and also that your chocolate doesn't show through, because there could be some pretty thin spots or even some empty spots on the mold. You can use an airbrush for this, or if you don't have one or don't want to bother with it, you can just use a brush. Just dip about half of the brush into the white. I like to swirl it around the edge of the cavity, moving down into it, and then stroke from the center up the mold to make sure everything is covered. And because we have a design under this background, one coat of cocoa butter is enough. Now I'm just shelling these using tempered milk chocolate. once the shells have set up at room temperature to the point where the chocolate is matte, I will pop them into the fridge for 20 minutes, then show you how they look. All right, guys, that is your first holiday chocolate bonbon design for the season. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you learned something new. If you did, let me know by liking the video and leaving me a comment down below. That helps me out a lot. And it's free for you to do. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, today's the day. If you'd like to see something that's festive and sweet, just click on one of these thumbnails. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.